Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee in my beautiful moose mug. I don't know if you can see his face. Anyway, beautiful mug. I like everything about it. Plus, there's a moose head inside. I love the cups that always have a little picture inside. But I don't love all cups that have a picture inside. They have to have a certain thing about them. And for whatever reason, this moose mug does. It brings me to kind of winter and nature. How are you? How are you navigating this Lionsgate portal energy and this full moon energy? It's been interesting sleeping. Plus, I think I brought in a couple things dietary wise that weren't my best friends. But really, that's what I'm doing with this carnivore, ketovore, anti inflammatory way I'm eating, trying to see, not trying, checking out what works in this body, what doesn't work in this body as far as pain goes. So, little on the tired side, getting ready to go to Ireland tomorrow. So, I have been caffeine free for 2 days now. Yesterday was a pretty tired day. Plus, the night before wasn't a great night's sleep. Last night was not a great night's sleep. This is a powerful full moon, and it has disturbed my sleep, which it sometimes will. I hope you are all faring well. I know there are always challenges coming up. And what does that look like for you? How can you grow with them? How can you expand? What is it you might want to be learning from these challenges? So, the subject for today is you do you. And I've said that so many times over the last few months, but it keeps coming up because this is truly how we change the world. We do everything we can do for ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. Sometimes that is in serving others. Sometimes it's in serving ourselves. Now, the you do you thing I talk about too, selfish, is good. We have made selfish a bad thing, especially for women, especially for mothers. But what we've made selfish is not the true definition of selfish. I mean, it can be, let me put it this way, it can be one definition of selfish, which is never thinking of anybody else, doing your own thing regardless of what happens to anybody else. And that is a form of selfishness. And that certainly is what we've been socialized to believe it is. But truly, what the word means is that you regard yourself in all things, and you you do your work to be the best version of you that you can be here on this earth. That is what you do you means. That is what selfishness means. It doesn't mean you disregard others. It means you do you first, and then you have more to offer. When you take care of yourself, when you love yourself, when you regard you, your vibration is of a higher nature. And that way, that which you are serving out in the world is of a higher nature. Are we going to be perfect at this? No. And sometimes when we start, we're going to inadvertently be the not such a lovely version of selfishness because we don't know how to be selfish in the highest and best for all. And that really is taking us into account, holding our boundaries, believing in ourselves, believing the best in ourselves. And that might be the biggest task in this you do you exercise. So let's see what the tarot, all the cards that wanted to come in today are tarot cards. The first card that came in is from the Apparition Tarot, and it is the Three of Swords. And this is all about being in our heads. It's all about how much we can look at the outer world and become victims and keep creating victimhood, victimhood, victimhood over and over again. And this is like, and then what happens is all this disjointed stuff starts to seep in. What are they thinking of me? What did they say? What are they doing? What are they? We can't do them. And we can't make them think a certain way. What we can do is care for us. And this, this is a bleeding heart. This is kind of a rough card. And that's really where we've come in the world. We've come to this point of so regarding the others and what they do in creating our okayness or lack thereof, that we've become kind of this puppet that is just thrown from side to side. Good morning, April. Beautiful Monday to you too as well. I'm wearing my beautiful necklace April wrapped for us at the retreat. And so if we continue in we have to be everything. Sorry. Texts show up on my screen and sometimes they distract me. Us doing our best to stay out of our heads and be regarding how everybody views us, everyone else. Sometimes for me, it's been a good thing because I can be pretty rough on myself, and I will sometimes step out and step into the observer view and think about what others have said to me that is kind, lovely, and wonderful, and get a view of myself with those attributes. And so sometimes that is a good thing. But for the most part, when we are in that victim mode, when everything is against us, when we're looking at how everybody else views us, we end up with that broken heart. We end up with that, I'm never going to be good enough. Everybody's mean to me. I'm going to go in the garden and eat worms, whatever that looks like. When we do us, we choose to hold our boundaries. Here's a good example. I have a friend whose family has been pretty mean to her over the years, and rightly so. And yet, still, when a family member comes into town to meet with all the other family members, not inviting her to join in, they ask if they can use her truck, and she says yes. It's like, no, start saying no, because I mean, it really is what they're doing is very mean. And she keeps going, okay, I get to allow this in because I guess I deserve this because I'm a victim here. Done, done, done. Next time they come into town, say, nope, you don't have to explain a damn thing. Just know you don't get to be the doormat anymore. You don't have to be the doormat anymore. So, what did they say about me? That is such a crappy feeling when you have to know what others are saying in order to know who you are. So the next card coming up is the Queen of Wands. Lovely high vibe card here. This is all about drawing into you the self-love, because this is the theme, is about us. It is the home and hearth love. It is that nurturing love. The Queen of Wands is that you learning to love you and accept you for how you are, not needing to be different, not needing to be better, not needing to shape yourself into this mold that others want you to fit into. Generally, when people strike out against you, it is because you've made them uncomfortable in their view of who you are and in how they put you in this spot, this box in their life. You don't have to do anybody else's box. It is imperative that you let go of the boxes of others, that you allow what you desire. What do I like? What do I want? I remember asking myself that and going, I don't know what I want. I've spent most of my life molding myself into everything I thought everyone else thought I should be and doing my best to do that. And truly, physiologically, I wound myself so tight, and I was and still am releasing hypertension, not high blood pressure, hypertension in my body. Great morning, Susan. Donna, good morning. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Um, and so this learning to stop making things for yourself harder. That was another way I started to unwind all this tension that had me wound up and bound up. And I learned that one of the things I embraced only was hard, because it had value for me if things were hard, because hard work was valued. And that, that's what I grew up with. And once I learned that I only valued hard, and there were lots of circumstances around that, I started throwing up my hand and saying, I choose ease. I choose ease. Good morning, Dorothy. Maybe you're the Elizabeth that I've been, because Elizabeth Adams. But anyway, if you are Elizabeth, quick healing Elizabeth, she's had a rough go. If you are not, welcome, Dorothy. So, what is another thing we want to know about us doing us? This is the 10, 3 of wands. Oh, it's just got so many candles. The 3 of wands. This is about you are at the beginning of this journey. You are beginning to light the candles, but look at how many. There are many. And are you going to light them all in time before you fall back into a pattern? No, probably not. Because we all fall into patterns, but it is the recognizing that pattern and going, done with that. I release that to the universe. I choose differently. I am enough. I matter. What does that look like for you? What patterns, what boxes have you put yourself in to try to fit into the constructs of others, of your family, of your partner? So, the next card, not the last card, but the next card that came up is the 5 of cups. And you look at that, 3 of those cups are turned upside down, but 2 of them are still full. And this means that this healing journey of you finding you is not necessarily going to just happen when you decide it, because there's lots of things that we need to release. And there are some things we want to hold on to. We need to release this belief that we have to be different than we are in order to be okay for everyone else. Some of the, autistic folks are very much very real, and some of them have no filter, just like little children have no filter. I do appreciate that in them, because I appreciate raw authenticity. Is it always comfortable for me? No, it is not. But when you are willing and open and ready to learn, to grow, to be guided. Good morning, Sue. Hope you're doing well. Sue is the little sister of one of my childhood friends. And Alice and I kind of fell apart in high school. So we just hung out with different people then. But Sue was her little sister, and she was enough behind us that we didn't play with Sue. I think she was 3 when we were 9 or 10. But anyway, welcome, Sue. And so we are always going to be releasing things, because we brought a lot into this life to learn. Some of the karmic energy we've brought in, well, all the karmic energy is that learning. What is it I wanted to learn from this when I brought it forward from these last lifetimes? Then we brought in ancestral energy. And, particularly women, and we were women and men throughout lives, but particularly they have been subjected to the whims of the masculine energy. And so we have done our best to be whatever we thought we were supposed to be in order to survive. And so there's a lot of undoing that will happen in this process of you choosing you. Again, it's much like it's not a selfish process in the true, what we know as selfishness, where we disregard everybody else. Although sometimes we disregard their opinions, we can say our apologies. I'm sorry if this hurts you, but this is what I need to do for me right now. It just isn't tenable for me to be this anymore. And so we sometimes have to make apologies for living our life the way we want to. But it is not a total um, yes, Lugene, you are one of my no filter friends. We really want to start regarding what we desire, what we want to do in this life, how we want to journey forward, and be that authentic person that we are. And again, there's a lot of times when that's going to be less than lovely as we empty out 3 cups and we hold on to 2. Sometimes that is letting go of people who cannot allow us to be our authentic self. So, you doing you is not selfish in the negative sense. It is selfish in the positive sense. You do your own work, you do your growth work, you work to continually become the best and highest version of you that you can be. You work to unfold the truth about you so you can do exactly what you wanted to do in this lifetime. And then the last card is from the Kitchen Tarot. It is the Magician, the salt and pepper. Salt and pepper are the main ingredients in the kitchen. It's the magic dust bestowing presto changeo to every taste bud. When you cook without salt, some people need to. That would not be a very fun way for me to cook, but you lose a lot of the fullness of flavor. The salt and pepper is the fullness of life, the keen perceptions. This card is telling you you can do it. And again, it's like I started to say, when you start owning your truth, it's often like the difference between uh, asserting yourself and aggression. Sometimes when we learn to assert ourselves, it comes out aggressively because we're not used to expressing our truth and we don't feel that it's okay to do that. And so we will kind of yell it in someone's face. It's the same with the selfishness. We can do it, maybe not so kindly at the beginning when we are telling people, yeah, I'm no longer going to be the doormat. I choose to honor what I desire, and I choose not to do that again. For some reason, this is coming up. I saw a thing about, if you want to know somebody real well, travel with them. And I have a lovely friend, and I adore her. I still adore her. We did a 1 overnight together and went up to Sun Valley for 2 days and 1 night. And it was like, oh yeah, you and I do not travel well together. Did not ruin our friendship, but I know better. She would go into high anxiety, even for just, a little car trip, being out of her own realm. And it was her way or the highway, and there was going to be no give or take. And so I learned, and I told her at one point, I have learned that we are not good travel companions. Not again will we do that. And so it did not stop our friendship, but I expressed my truth. And she's also just a little on the spectrum, also will blurt out her truth to me on occasion. And I take it in with a filter of, is this true for me? Do I get to learn something from this? Is this something here for me? Always take other people's opinions as that. And if they are not in resonance with you, if they are a continual discord within you, then you go, no, that isn't the truth for me. It may be yours, and I encourage you to hold on to that truth, but it's not my truth. So that is what you doing you is. It is you living your truth. And the gentler you can do it within your relationships, the better. But know that we are not always going to do it as gently as we will learn how to do it, especially if you are new to the idea. So I think we are complete And I do not know if I will do another reading until probably the end of this month. I am headed to Ireland next month to scope out all the retreat possibilities for our September of 2026 retreat. And so I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. We will see how that pans out for readings. They are 7 hours ahead of us. So we'll see if I feel led to do that. I know there's going to be some incredible experiences, a lot of land work that we are going to do to heal that land. Just as a note of interest, did you know that the story of St. Patrick for St. Patrick's Day, of chasing all the snakes out of Ireland, that was about them killing off all the druids? Had nothing to do with snakes. It was the Catholics killing the druids. Just a note of interest you might not be aware of. I thank you for joining me. If you're seeing me on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. That helps me grow and reach more people. My greatest desire is to positively impact the world, as many people as I can in the world, and you can help me do that. Thanks so much. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.